Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about a few different topics. Me being sick, just briefly, videos that are coming quickly, and then we'll talk about leaks, Sasha getting a TV role, Joey's death, and some shit that pisses me off with a part of the Walking Dead fandom. If that's the case, which that's an interesting story, and Blu-ray excitement, because more and more I'm getting excited for the Blu-ray release of The Walking Dead Season 7. I mean, there's just, if they don't jam-pack this season, we'll get to that coming up. But real quick, I'm sick as hell. I don't know, my wisdom tooth was growing in years ago, and it grew into the one tooth and cracked the tooth, so I had my wisdom teeth yanked out, but I'm a man, so fuck that cracked tooth, right? That cracked tooth, I guess, got an infection, I'm assuming, and that shit hurt. And I'm a man, so I said, fuck the pain, I'll push through it. But the last time I did that with my appendix, that shit burst, I almost died. Swear to God, in the hospital for 2 weeks, I had to do physical therapy to walk again. I was fucked up. Well, it wasn't that serious, but I really did have to do physical therapy because they got to take it slow, you know? But that shit was bad. The doctor came out and said to my grandmother, right, you don't let him be that stupid again. I was dumb. Like, that was dumb. The doctor said 45 minutes, no bullshit, and I was going to push that away. So, anyway, my shit is throbbing. So I go down to the dentist, I say, give me some drugs. So long story short, I got some antibiotics. That made me sick as hell. It took a little bit. But this comes after a point where during the Thanksgiving holiday, I took a few days to just spend with family impulsively because I was just going to work through Thanksgiving. That set me back in videos. Something else, a problem with the computer, set me back in videos in October. So fortunately, it was the bonus videos, but unfortunately for the people who put in stuff for the map mail, unfortunately their stuff has been delayed, some for a couple months. I feel absolutely terrible. And there's some really amazing stuff that I want to get out. Some footage was corrupted that I felt like shit because someone sent Juliet some stuff for her birthday. I was actually able to fix, with my limited knowledge, my stupid mind, I was able to fix some of the audio, so I'm going to be editing that as soon as we get this up. I'm going to give you this Walking Dead video to tide everyone over, and guys, bear with me, I'm on my deathbed, I feel, and I don't milk shit. Like, when I get sick, I'm that type of dude to push through it. But my ass is beat, so I might not be able to edit much in this video, but I will do the best I can. When it comes to the next topic videos coming, you might see a bunch of mail videos, like 2 a day for like 3 or 4 days in a row. You might see that come over the weekend. I just want to get all the videos up. Everyone's who sent stuff in, I don't want them waiting any longer. So I'm sorry, you'll see Bambox, Munch Pack. Oh dear God, the Munch Pack people. They probably hate my guts. Bambox, oh, I just thought of it. I think we're a couple weeks late. Horror Block, we just got a new one in. We got the Mega Box from Skybound. Damn. This is the first time in 3 years I've ever been late and backed up on videos. So I hope that counts for something. With that, rambling, bambling, whatever you want to call it, with that out of the way, let's jump right into the leaks and The Walking Dead being screwed. Apparently, yesterday or last night, somebody messaged me. I have a couple people in the spoiler community. Just a couple, though. It's getting harder and harder to find people who are serious about helping. I have so many people in the spoiler community who go, man, we will help. We will, pinpoint all the problem makers, the people putting spoilers in their predictions. We will highlight those guys and yada, yada, yada. Those people more and more end up turning around, and I catch them in the comments talking about spoilers. It's like, what the fuck, But luckily, there's a handful that are really helping out, really doing the best they can, flagging and removing as many comments with spoilers in it. But guess what? There's just too damn much. Just too damn much. We get some members that go over on different videos that entertain spoilers, like they talk about spoilers. They'll just come here and talk about it like, Ronnie, why haven't you talked about this? And I'm just like scratching my head like, I don't read the spoilers, bro. That's why I'm not talking about that. I don't even know about that. So unfortunately, the finale was spoiled. I'm going to do something that I should not say right now. And I don't see a lot of... Here's the thing. YouTubers, we all know, the algorithm, the more likes, the more comments, it helps you out to some degree. Absolutely. The activity is beneficial. on this channel, I guess I shoot myself in the foot, but we remove comments that are spoilers, blatant asshole spoilers, who are like, hey, I know how it's going to end, F you, here it is, yada, yada, yada. What we do is we hide those comments from those viewers, so they get away with it the first time, maybe even a couple times until we spot them. Then we ban their comments. Now, from what I understand, they don't know their comments are banned. On our end, we just won't see them. They'll be hidden. Now, YouTube had a glitch where that wasn't working last season. Every now and then, users who had their comments hidden, their comments would pop up. They fixed it about a month ago, I noticed, because I started tracking the hidden users. And about a month ago, it's perfect. Not one comment from a hidden user has actually made it to the comment section. So slowly but surely, we're just hiding them. And I don't want to do that. So if you're like either young or dumb or I don't even know, if you're one of those guys who are like, I'm going to spoil this shit, but 6 months later, you're like, man, I really want to be involved in the community and discuss shit, just don't, because your comments won't show up. I don't know how I can say this any clearer. Sure, you go make a new account, but you're not going to know if your comments aren't showing up. So just don't, you know? Anyway, moving on to the big spoiler for the finale. Apparently that's out. And again, I should not say this, but just be cautious. Maybe don't even go in the comment section. And that's probably going to hurt this channel in the end, because if people aren't active in the comment section, this video might not make it to suggested feeds and everything like that. Not just this video, but other videos in the future. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it. You know, be extra careful. We can't catch all the spoilers, and apparently there are spoilers for the finale, and I just don't know what else to do, and I utterly refuse to block comments. That's one thing I strongly believe in YouTube. I believe what makes this different than Netflix is because we can build a community around the content, and you just can't do that on other sites like, you know, anything I know of, you know. It's just different. It's incredibly different, and I think the comments is what makes it that extra bit of different, that is what attracts a lot of us to YouTube. So my hands are tied unless we come up with a better system, unless other members out there, the more and more of the members that get sick of this type of shit, and maybe you don't like spoilers, you don't want that. And again, for those who just don't get it, we are talking about people coming into a non-spoiler community and just copy-pasting the spoilers. It's bad. It's everywhere. And until that gets somewhat resolved, hey, maybe it's never resolved, but I'm just going to blame the entire spoiler community. And fuck you if you don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Because if the spoiler community just said, you know what, we're actually hurting the fan, or we're actually hurting we're hurting the franchise that we claim we love. I don't believe you. I don't believe you love the show as much as other non-spoiler people. I don't believe you give a fuck. I believe it's all selfish desires, you know, for those maybe who claim that they need the spoilers because they get panicky or all this other bullshit. I just wait until it's out on DVD. Wait until later. I mean, at this point in time, I'm growing more and more just hateful at the entire spoiler community as a whole. I just don't like it, you know? And it's because of the bad apples. It really is. And again, keep that in mind. I'm saying that knowing that I have mods that are in the spoiler communities. Like, I have connections in that aspect that help with the channel. They understand I don't hate them. So if you took it to heart, you're probably the problem. So yes, be super cautious out there, Walking Dead fans. Let's move over to Sasha's death. I might miss a couple things, but maybe we'll follow up. Maybe you guys want to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment box. Let's move over to Sasha's death. She's been, yeah, I said that like it's a spoiler. She's been, let me clarify, she's been cast in Star Trek, so obviously everywhere you see, Sasha's gonna die. Now the thing is, we get this all the time in TV where a member of TV is cast for a different role. Yes, a lot of the times it does mean their time is up. However, it doesn't mean their time is up right now. It doesn't mean Sasha might die this season. It doesn't mean she's definitely going to die next season. Now she might. And the shitty part is, because she might, some people might go, see, that's proof. It's not proof. Norman Reedus has done multiple projects. Lauren Cohan, who plays Maggie, has done movies and multiple projects. Glenn Rhee, even though that was, from what I hear, around the time of his death, he did other projects as well. He was in I, Origin while he was still alive, I think in Season 5 of The Walking Dead. So you could do projects. Now the problem here with this is I believe she got the main role on a Star Trek TV show. Star Trek, sorry. I'm not a big Star Trek fan, so I might pronounce some shit. Sorry. So with that being said, yeah, you have some likelihood of her dying. Now, if we look into her story, I kind of feel like Sasha's a character who should die much later on. She should be there for the rise of Maggie Rhee at the hilltop. Sorry, I'm starting to sweat. I fucking want to lay down. And I'm not hey, I don't want to sound like a bitch, but I'm a man, damn it. I'm the type of man I'll get sliced open on a job, like in a factory. I'll duct tape the shit. I don't give a fuck. That's how I was raised. My father did that. He's a dumbass. Like a dumbass. Sorry if you... No, he doesn't watch my videos. He cut himself so bad he permanently couldn't like close his hand, or there was some problem he had with his hand, because that's how I was raised. You work in a factory, you know, when we got a job at 14, you get cut or seriously injured, duct tape, super glue, take your ass to work, you know, finish your job. When you get off of work, then you go to the hospital. And I had that mentality ever since I was born. When I was 14, 15, working for these rich people, carried a huge table down some steps, slipped on some ice, cracked my skull. It felt like I cracked it open. Finished my job, went to the hospital, had like a concussion, or I was real sick, some shit like that. But yeah, I'm just stupid like that. So I don't mean to sound like I'm complaining. If I'm sweating or I look ill, I'm not dying. I'm just not feeling well. What were you talking about? Yeah, so Sasha, if you look at this character, this feels like a character who should be there for the rise of Maggie Green. And then in a couple seasons, when we deal with Negan, when we deal with the war with Negan, even afterwards, we have another group of villains, and then we potentially have a battle with them. And there's a big battle that erupts at the hilltop at this point in time in the comic book, and I won't mention any other spoilers. If you didn't think more battles ensue, then I don't think you understand the repetition on the show, which is a positive repetition. But anyway, I think she should die around the current point in time we are right now in the comics. So I think Sasha should continue on. I don't know if that's where I left off when I went with that rambling rant. Why did I even talk about that? What the fuck, Ronnie? What the fuck you doing? So, Sasha, I think she should live on. Here's the other problem, though. With her storyline, it's definitely set up to additionally help push Maggie, but also the others. And it's definitely set up to possibly conclude Sasha's story dying closer to the end of this season, or more likely in the beginning half of Season 8. I could see beginning or second half of Season 8. I see it set up where it could go both ways. It really could. Now, one thing The Walking Dead, and this unfortunately is a sign that they might not be done with the bottle episodes, which is so unfortunate, but if this is the only way to get all-out war the way we should get it, then fine, I guess we have to deal with the bottle episodes. Hopefully it'll be better with the war, since obviously we'll have, you know, faster pace, more action, more interesting things going on, instead of, but then again, it still will feel forced. It doesn't matter how much action you have in it. You still will feel like, oh, well, that was pretty quick for that little war side. You know, you took out that one outpost. What was the whole point of that instead of being blended? I don't know. We'll cross that road when we get to it. So for everyone afraid of Sasha or wondering what's going on with Sasha, nothing changed with me when I read it. I'm still 50-50 right now, story-wise. You know, I don't think that's a hint. I think I would lead only like 10% more towards, yeah, maybe she will die soon, you know. But I don't think that screams she's definitely dying anytime soon. If I went sideways and somewhere around the beginning of that, I don't remember what I was talking about. But let's move over to Joey's death, and this is what pisses me off the most in this fandom. Fans that complain. There's multiple things that annoy me with complaints when it comes to either parents or just prude people in general. Like if you go to Toys R Us, you complain about, you know, Breaking Bad figures with drugs, whatever. And I do agree that I think it's smart from the gate, and I'm surprised no one at Toys R Us thought of this, but to have an adult section. Problem solved. And this is what we're seeing at Toys R Us, where they're finally, oh, ding, so they have an adult section, so that way adults have no excuse anymore. Or at least that's what it is set up in my area. I don't believe about complaints about curses. First off, I don't even believe in curses. It's so moronic, and I will discuss this in a video coming up, just as a way to vent my my belief on this. But I don't believe in fucking shit and hell and damn and piss. To me, they are just simply words. It makes no sense how you can see a mother at a store and she's changing a diaper or whatever, a new mother, and she's, you know how mothers talk to their kids, oh, you poop-eat, or there's a poo-poo in your diaper. That's acceptable. But shit isn't, you know, because we were conditioned to believe that shit is a curse, and poop, you know, maybe crap is borderline. Do you see how mental that conditioning is? Back in the day, there was some word called, and I looked it up for this specific video, where it was like God's wood or some God's axe, some shit like that, some word like that. Back years ago was like the F word of its time. Gadzooks, that's what it is. Gadzooks. We have kids now, kids programs saying Gadzooks. Back in the day, in like biblical times, I think in medieval times, Gadzooks was like, whoa, you know? That was the F word of its time. Back then you were conditioned to know that was a bad word, that was a curse word. Today you're conditioned to believe, and I think this is like a problem, is if we continue with this conditioning. I think it's a weak mentality. Now, I understand it. I still don't let my daughter run around, yada, 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 dropping F-bombs and all that other shit. But I do think there is a level of understanding and growth once we become aware that curses are just conditioning, saying that's a bad word. You know, this is acceptable, that's not. So fans who will complain about cursing right from the gate, I will never agree with you. I will absolutely never agree with you. Fans who complain about the gore, I will never agree with you as well. There's times where the scenes actually work better. They are more artistic. They are beautifully done. I mean, they're gorgeous when they're done in a certain way, where the gore is off-screen, minimal. Sometimes they're even scarier when it's off-screen and minimal. But it all depends on the art and the story you're telling. When it comes to The Walking Dead, the mid-season finale for Season 7, Norman Reedus, Daryl Dixon, came out. Joey was standing there, and Joey gave up Fat Joey, and then Norman Reedus beat his head in with a pipe. Well, Joey, the actor, did an interview, and he said that there was a lot more gore. There was a ton. They had blood packets that shot up. Sorry, I got a pain in my back, had to stretch out. There was blood packets that shot up and all this other shit. He took pictures of being all bloody and gory. And my argument was, immediately when I watched the mid-season finale, something seemed off about that scene. But I can't pack everything in the review, or the review would be an hour, so I scratched that off in my notebook. But I made a mental note that that was something to bring up as to why did they shy away from it. Here I see an article yesterday that is hinting AMC possibly pulled the gore out of there because of the flack they got from episode 1 of season 7, which is bullshit. And for anyone saying it's a cop-out, now here's the thing. I know people might get offended and fuck you, Ronnie, in the comments. If you want to voice your different opinion, go ahead. But if you're simply going to say blood and gore is bad writing, then just don't even waste your time, because you're just wrong. Blood and gore does not equal bad writing. That is ridiculous. That is just utterly ridiculous. Now, if you are always using blood and gore to prop up the writing, you know, constantly, well, yeah, it's noticeable in certain shows. The Walking Dead does not do that. And I argue all the time, or I will argue all the time, with people who say that it is filled with bad writing. You got moments, and I'm not afraid to point them out, that I do believe there's bad writing. I do believe Glenn falling down was a budget thing. I firmly believe that. The van drop was a budget issue. I firmly believe that. I believe they got it set up. They thought it would work. It didn't work, but they can't afford any more budget because they're shutting down parts of Atlanta. I believe they filmed that there. They just couldn't do it. They could not do it. And I believe if they would have cut part of the editing, it would have looked funky, but it would have been a lot better than the way it looked. Glenn falling down with the dumpster, I do believe that it was written and it was in their mind. They thought it out properly, but when they got to filming, maybe they filmed part of it and then they got to the fall and they filmed that last and they were like, oh shit, he's not going to land the right way we need him to land. Oh well. And they just touched it up in editing, movie magic, where we see him fall, but when he lands, it's totally different. Every time I say that, there's always 3 or 4 people who get mistaken, but if this is the dumpster, Glenn falls like this, that's bad. He falls off the dumpster like this, but when he lands, his head is where his feet would land. He doesn't flip, he doesn't spin, yada, yada, yada. But I do believe that was just a budget issue. There's moments that, like I said, if I see it, I'll point it out. I don't hate on it later. Like when I watch that Glenn scene, I'm not watching it like, oh, fuck this scene. Fuck that dumpster. Why isn't there a second dumpster? This show sucks. AMC, damn you. You know, I point it out and I move on. When I watch it, I enjoy the positives in the scene. And I think that's one thing a lot of fans overlook. Like, if I'm pointing out a negative, I don't ever rewatch the show. Most times, there are some scenes where I'm like, that objectively, that's just bad. Like, I'm sorry, I still cringe every time Daryl Dixon says, we ain't dead, when the We Are the Walking Dead scene. I feel like the scene is perfect, and it would have even been better if he got up, gave a look, you know, and we built our own conclusions, and Norman Reedus or Daryl Dixon just walked away. Yeah, but I don't rewatch the scenes, even the ones I criticize, and go, ugh. No, I focus on the positives. I focus on what I enjoy. So when it came to the Fat Joey scene, and I heard that it's possible they edited that so they didn't offend fans, I got enraged. Why? Because the gore in that moment, it fit. It was good writing. It was jarring not seeing it. It's something you expected, but it also did so much more. Like I argue with Michonne. When Michonne shot the girl, they did it so far away. It was a beautiful moment. Maybe they could have cut away, but I strongly disagree with cutting away from the moment inside the car. Absolutely. This is something that Michonne is doing that's horrific. We don't know anything about this girl. This girl could just be a survivor doing the best she can. This girl could be Tara. This girl could be a Denise. You know, this girl could be somebody who has done some bad shit, but at the end, they could have been an ally. They could have been a good person. Morgan could have been Morgan. You know what I mean? Morgan did some shit. He came back from that. This girl could, and I think that also props up Morgan's story. And that is why, like, I'll poke and prod with some character stories like Carol. You guys know, I'll put, whoa, I'm fine with her not killing, but why is she doing that? That makes her seem like she doesn't care. But Morgan's story, some of these other scenes that don't have anything to do with Morgan, it props up his story and his character development, and it kind of strengthens it somewhat. Because imagine that this girl that Michonne killed could have been a productive member in their community. Look at how she acted. She accepted her fate, and she was a champ. You know what I mean? She's like, listen, silencer's in the box. And do you understand the power in this moment? She is surrendering her life, ending her life. She had, you know, maybe even because she is eaten away with so much guilt over the shit she has done. She finally sees an out. And the girl in the driver's seat, the savior, and she makes the impulsive decision to accept her judgment. But in doing so, she doesn't have any revenge, any hate after the fact. She allows Michonne the opportunity to do it and not get caught. She also gives her tips about what to do with the vehicle, how to get rid of it, how to do it so Michonne can still live. Does that in any way, shape, or form sound like a complete monster? No. And that's what I love about some of the characters in The Walking Dead, where it is gray. I love the fact that you can debate, you know, Negan and his wives situation. I love the fact how some of the shit he says is so indirect, so subtle, so, well, wait a minute, is that a threat? Or did he really mean, you know, what he just said, as in, oh, I'll help you, I got you, I'll take care of this, I love those gray areas, and I think those gray areas are more realistic, you know, in life. I've met some really bad people in life. Some of those really, like, disgusting, some of them are doing life right now in prison. Those will be the first person to pull over and help, like, an elderly woman change a tire, you know, or help. Some of those people will be the first people to do some shit like that, and you'll be like, my God, they are wonderful people. And then you open up the Sunday paper and you're like, wait a minute, he chopped up who? Was he high? You know what I'm saying? So those gray areas, that's realism, not the black and white. So now, back to Michonne and the girl in the car. You have a situation where this girl essentially gave up, surrendered, did it, and helped Michonne in the end. Helped the group in the end by allowing Michonne to get away with it. She essentially gave up her life. And what did we do? We backed away. We backed away from the violence. We backed away from the gore. We backed away from the in-your-face reality that Michonne took out a gun, put a silencer on, and shot this woman in the face, probably the head. Ended her shit right there. Now, before the girl told her there's a silencer in the glove compartment and how to burn the vehicle, I was like, yeah, Michonne, just shoot her. This is war. We didn't declare war yet, but Negan did. Once he stopped you guys with the roadblocks, once his outpost stopped Abraham, Sasha, and Daryl, the war started. That was a war in my eyes. So she's a soldier, and she's just on the wrong side of the war. She's just in the wrong part of the battle. It's just a shit day for her. Take her out. But once she said there's a silencer and whoop-de-whoop, I was like, man, that's tough. I mean, you almost got to take her out. But there's that moment where, man, what if Morgan was here? Morgan might be able to. A person like that is not a monster like the girl who died in that way. And there might be some redemption there. Absolutely. Michonne ended that, but we backed away from it. It was as if it was okay, that Michonne did that. We didn't see, we shouldn't. We should have saw it. We should have saw half that woman's face blown off all over the windshield. We should have saw, the damage that does on Michonne, her not wanting to do it, but having to do it. We should see that brutality. But that's only one scene that I'm okay that they backed away. I just disagree that they did it. But I'm not okay with them cutting out the gore with Joey, because there's a couple things here. Now, first off, Joey had a gun, and I thought the gun was not loaded. I didn't rewatch the episode, but people are telling me now when Rick opens it, you could see the bullets. I don't remember that on my TV. Maybe maybe it was too dark or whatever. I know with a revolver you should definitely see the bullets if the angle is right, but people are telling me he had bullets, and I think in a way that makes it more of a gray area. I love that. If it was unloaded, then sure, he doesn't have bullets. And don't fucking tell me he could, what's the word I'm looking for? He could bluff him. Don't tell me that. You've never had a revolver stuck in your face if you think you could bluff, because you could see it. There's no way you're going to bluff him with that. So I think they shouldn't have cut away from the gore, because this is Daryl, who is in a situation that we as fans, some of us, even the haters especially, we don't relate to Daryl's situation well. Because to us, and I'll admit it, to me too, he's a safe character. Daryl is never going to die in the hands of Negan right now in the story. Daryl was never in danger. Maybe he could get hurt or injured, sure. But Daryl's character was never in danger. But the writers don't write it like that. The actor doesn't act it like that. When they are doing this, they are in the moment. Daryl is afraid of his... Daryl can die at any moment. That's game over for Daryl. He should feel that. He shouldn't feel, or the writers shouldn't feel, that this is just a safe character. So the torment is amplified. In order to understand the scenes fully, if you want to, if you choose to, you need to go back and look at it without bias, without saying, oh, this is a character that's definitely going to live, so there's no real danger, there's no real threat. To the character, when he's in that moment, yes, he was ripped away at a horrible point in time. His friends died. He's mourning alone. He's in a box eating dog food. They're playing music he can't stand, tormenting him, teasing him, joking around, showing a filthy lifestyle when he is brought out, having to be bossed around, treated like a slave. What else? Was he beat? Yeah, he was even beaten. He was tricked, being let go, lied to, deceived. I mean, everything is negative. Everything in his bubble is negative. And at any moment, if Negan gets bored, he could just kill Daryl, in Daryl's eyes. So when Daryl comes out of that situation, he sees them all. Everyone who was involved, everyone who was in that circle. And Joey was in that circle. I don't remember if Joey helped beat him up or just stood there with the gun, but Joey was in that circle. Joey did again, with the gray area, when he didn't just walk in and throw the dog food sandwich down, but he did walk in and hand him a dog food relatively nicer than than Dwight would, so you got that gray area again. But then when Joey surrenders, this is a point where Daryl's like, that's not good enough, because you could surrender now. And I'm not saying this is what the scene means, but this is in addition to what the scene could mean. But Joey surrenders now, and Daryl's like, no, you could still fight later. Like, he knows they're going to fight. He knows it. Joey could be put in a situation where he might end up kill Michonne. He might end up kill Jesus. He might end up shoot Rick. He might end up shoot Carl. This is just another soldier at the end of the day. So you got to take it all. I think with Joey as well, we also have these characters that are the big lovable bear types, and it kind of feels like they were angling for that. They picked an actor who had the right look, who might be, the jolly funny guy, the teddy bear guy in a different environment. So I think that was very clever with the casting. I think they did a terrific job with that. And it adds to the brutality of it. But again, we should have seen the brutality of it. And that is one thing where I argue they filmed it. If they filmed it, they meant for it to be in there. If they took it out just because they didn't want any more complaints on top of the guts things, I think that was incredibly wrong. I'm not flipping out because I think there's a chance to redeem themselves by including it in the Blu-ray. This brings me to my last topic. Sorry this video is so long, but I figure it's been a couple days, put up a long video. Those of you who like the long videos can sit and chit-chat. Chit-chat. That's actually the original name I was going to call these segments, but instead of Let's Talk. Anyway, the Blu-ray. We are getting reports from the set that, non-spoiler reports, official ones, that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is filming censored scenes and uncensored scenes. Censored for the TV and uncensored for the Blu-ray. Now, what they did with Season 6, they included an additional episode, the full episode, not just a scene. And I give them props for that. That was great. They could have just included that last scene and called it a day. But they put it in there complete. Even Rick, a couple times, drops the F-bomb in Season 6. Like when Daryl's talking about Jesus, bring him back, and Rick's like, fuck him, Although, I love the face Andrew Lincoln made on TV when he said, not him, or, screw him. He made this face that's different than the fuck him. That was hilarious. So I loved it on TV, but I also loved the uncensored as well. But what they did is they included the uncensored full episode. So there's no, I'm just going to play the uncensored scene. You can actually watch it in its entirety. And I'm really, really hoping, even if they charge a little extra, I'm down with that. I am down with that. I'm hoping that we get the deleted scenes, we get all the bonus stuff, jam-packed, audio commentaries, and I want to hear their thoughts and opinions too, as well as, why they wrote it like this, why they decided to incorporate this type of foreshadowing, what they were thinking in the writer's room. I want to hear more of those types of details. We do hear a lot in the old commentaries, but I want more. I think the only commentary I was really incredibly disappointed with were the Fear the Walking Dead. I was so looking forward to going into those commentaries and really getting a feel for their vision of what they were putting out, because it disagreed so much with my enjoyment with it. So I was kind of curious to see, well, what were they going for? What angle were they doing here? And they didn't dive deep at all into commentaries about the characters or anything. And I listened to them all, and I think there was like 3 notes I made, which was disappointing. With The Walking Dead Season 6, they do dive in with the foreshadowing and the filming and some cool stories from the set. And I made a whole notepad of notes from the commentaries it's coming up in a bonus video soon over the break. But that's what I want in the Season 7, the Blu-ray set. Come out with the uncensored episodes, the full episodes. And this is going to be tricky because it'll be additional space. So if you're into DVD, forget it. Go to Blu-ray, and that's why it's not on the DVD, because they included the entire episode. Blu-ray holds more information. Look at it like a memory card. DVD holds only, let's say, 10 slots of memory. And Blu-ray holds like 50 slots of memory. So when they put it on the DVD, everything is 10 slots, so it's filled up, and the extra episode doesn't fit. But with the Blu-ray, they just tack it on. It'll fit. There's plenty of room. So, because I know a lot of people were confused why. They thought it was some slimy trick and yada yada. There's just not enough memory on the DVD. As far as what I understand. There's definitely a lack of memory compared. But as far as I understand, that is the only logical reason they didn't include it in there. There could be other reasons. I don't know. You could put your thoughts and opinions down below. But I think we should get the uncensored stuff. I think with the uncensored stuff, we should get the additional gore. Any type of additional gore. And we should see a big segment on the behind the scenes for the 2 deaths and the reveal of Carl's eye. I think that would be really cool to see those dummies, to see more special effects and other things that they're doing in that nature. With that said, this is probably going to be one of the very first long, almost unedited discussion videos, and I think that's it. So if you like this type of video, I could probably do it every other week. Maybe we'll just sit down and discuss a bunch of different topics with either The Walking Dead or other things. And I do have some interesting stuff coming for the break. Originally, my idea was to saturate with Walking Dead content, and I'm just not going to do it. I will give a lot of Walking Dead content over the break. Hell yes. I'm not doing daily Walking Dead content because I want to go ahead and dive into The Last of Us. I have already been working on a side project for a series of movies that will start rolling out probably in January. I know that might seem like a far ways away, but I really want to dive in deep and put out some of these videos. And if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, you're going to love it because it's strictly zombies and post-apocalyptic stuff. You'll get a kick out of it. But I'm trying to tweak the right kind of theme or style of video, so bear with me with that. With that said, that's all I got to ramble about. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. As always, please also be very careful in the comment box. I don't want members of the MAP family getting spoiled because some idiots are putting the spoilers in the comments. It's just stupid at this point. Just really stupid. Thoughts and opinions in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Oh yeah, No Evil. I friggin' love this shirt. I love the color. It's not just white. We opened this in a matte mail. I hit the tripod. I'm going to go. But I see another package over there from No Evil. So stay tuned with the matte mail. I can't wait to open that. Link in the video description, I guess. I'll put it in there. They don't pay me to say that. They just sent the shirt. And a lot of fans ask what my shirts are. So I think maybe we'll showcase some shirts every other video. All right. Go leave a comment. But be careful.
Subscribe now.